Good morning, friends. We're going to be writing in our journals today for the very first time. When you get to your table, you're going to have a page in your journal that looks just like this one. You'll see two lines up here. This first line is for your name, so I'm going to write my name here. Now, you won't write my name there, you'll write your name. So I'm going to write Mrs. Fleck, and I'm going to use a nice, tall, capital letter for my name, because we always capitalize a name. Doing my best writing. This is my journal that I write in every day, and I'm going to see it over and over again. So I don't want to rush and be sloppy. I want to go slow and careful and do my very best. Now you see this little line right here? It's got some little lines up here too. This is for your code date. This is what we call the code date in kindergarten, and it's the number way of writing what day it is. That helps Mrs. Fleck know what you were writing each day, and I can see how much better of a writer you become as the year goes on. So today's date is December 3rd. Today's date is December 3rd, so I'm going to write 12, that's my code for the month of December. 3, that's my number of my day. 09. It's 2009, and in my code date, I just write the last two numbers of the year, the 09. Now, kindergarten friends, many of you have come to me and said, Mrs. Fleck, I don't know how to write. How can I have a journal? I've never written before. I just got to kindergarten. Don't worry, you know more than you think. Good writers, when they don't know exactly what to write, start out by drawing a picture to help them get an idea. You can draw a picture of anything you want, anything you like, anything you're thinking about. I'm going to draw a picture of some Christmas candy because that's what I'm thinking about really hard right now. Right now, Mrs. Fleck is spending her time at home making a lot of Christmas candy, and it's hard for me to get it all done, so it's on my mind a lot of the time. So that's what I'm going to choose to draw because that's what I'm thinking about, and that's just right for me. So I'm going to draw some Christmas candy, and when I make Christmas candy, I start out by rolling it out, and so I'm going to draw a picture of me. Here's my kitchen counter. It's the place where I roll it out, and I'll draw my cabinets underneath. I'm going to go real slow and careful with my picture. I want to add lots of details so that it gives me an idea of what I can write down here, and so that if someone else looks at my picture and my writing in my journal, they know just what it is. I don't want to go sloppy fast because then somebody looking at my picture just wouldn't know what it was. So here's my cabinets, and I know that each cabinet, in my house at least, has a little handle there in the middle. Here's my countertop on top of my cabinet. And on my counter is where I roll out my candy, and it's on a cookie sheet, like a sheet that you bake cookies on, and it's shaped like little tiny pieces of chocolate. Okay, and so I'm going to draw me behind here because I'm the one making the candy. It's just me. Mr. Fleck doesn't like to make candy, so it's just me. I'm going to draw just me in the picture, and I'm not just going to draw a circle with a stick. That's not what I look like. I'm going to draw what I really look like. So there's my neck, and now the rest of me is kind of behind the counter, so you can't really see me. All right, I'm going to draw my hair. I have long hair. Right now it's up, so you can't tell, but I do have long hair, and I need some eyes, and a nose, and a mouth, and some ears right here. There's me, and I'm standing behind my counter, and even though I'm really busy with candy making, I have a smile on my face because I love it, and I'm so happy. Now, you know, this picture's a little bit boring. I feel like I could put something around the sides to really give it some background. That's the things around the main part of the picture. I'm going to give it some background to make this picture a little bit more interesting. So I have lots of cabinets in my kitchen, and I also have a little table right here. I'm just not exactly sure how to draw the legs, so I'll do the very best I can because that's what we do in kindergarten. And on this table, there's a little placemat right here and a vase with some flowers in it. Mr. Fleck is very kind and always makes sure there's flowers in that vase. And over here I have a stove. That's where I melt the chocolate when I make the candy. So here's my stove and the little burners on top of it where I melt my chocolate. There's some more counter. And back here is some more counter. So let's see. Now over here is where my counter ends. Maybe I'll draw Mr. Fleck over here not helping me, but a lot of times he's in the kitchen talking to me when I'm making candy, so I'm going to draw that detail in there. And now I'm going to draw Mr. Fleck's whole body because he's not covered up by the counter at all. Mr. Fleck loves to wear t-shirts, so that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to definitely make sure he has clothes on, and I add that detail in my drawing. That's something that a lot of times kindergartners forget to add. There's my hands with my fingers. And he usually has a big smile on his face, so I'll draw a big smile on his face. He's got kind of, oopsies. He's got kind of short hair. Now, in your picture, you will be using a lot of colors. I don't have that many colors of markers, so that's why I'm just using black. You can certainly feel free to use more colors. Now that I've got my nice picture of my kitchen and me making candy with Mr. Fleck in the background and some flowers and tables and the stove in the background, I'm going to choose something to write. Trying to think of something that would match my picture, because one thing that good writers always do is they always match their picture to their words. I could not write fishing down here because this picture has nothing to do with fishing. This picture is about making candy, so I need to write something about making candy down here in order to match my picture to my words. That's really important for good writers to do. So I think I'm going to write making candy, and I'm not exactly sure how to spell making candy, but what I'm going to do is just stretch the word out and say it really slow and just write the things that I hear. So let's start with that first word, making. Making. Just going to stretch it slow one more time just to hear all those sounds. Making. Okay, now I'm going to start writing what I hear. What do I hear first? That reminds me of my mom's name. Mom starts with the M sound. So I'm going to write an M, pull down, push up over the hill, up over the hill. Make. I have a friend named Kristen, and her name starts like that. That's the K sound. That is. So I'm going to write that K, pull down, in, out. And the school way to make the letters is to always start at the top. Never start from the bottom. So I'm going to start from the top and just make the letters the best I can each time. Making. I'm not sure what makes that sound. I'm going to stretch it a little slower. Kind of feel like it's close to that sound that I know N makes. So I'm going to write N. That's the only sound I really know in ing, and that's okay because I'm just starting to write. And so I'm just going to write my best guess, and I think it's an N. Pull down, push over, up over the hill. Making. Making candy. Candy again starts like my friend Kristen's name with that K sound, so I'm going to write my K. Making another N sound, just like in making. I hear that N sound that N makes. Candy. Well, I know that letter. That's like my dad's name. D. D. It's staying its name. So I'm going to write a D, and I happen to know that when I write a lowercase d, I want to go around the loop first and then go up. Otherwise, sometimes I switch the belly. So I'm going to go all the way around, up in the air, pull down. Now I'm going to see if I hear anything else in that word candy. 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 No, I just hear D saying its name at the end. That's all I heard in making candy. You might hear different sounds in what you're writing, and that's just fine. Your job as your best writer is to write the sounds you hear that match the picture you draw. Kindergarten friends, when I call your name, you're going to tiptoe to the table where